Good afternoon. This is Laura Belanger from the National Weather Service in Atlanta with your weekly weather briefing. This is February 15th, a Wednesday, not our traditional weekly weather briefing day, but you'll see why in a moment. Our highlights for the next 7-day period, we are expecting some strong to isolated severe storms that are possible tomorrow into Friday morning. Outside of that, it's going to be kind of a quiet week. We are expecting dry conditions through the holiday weekend, beginning Friday afternoon, and we are expecting cool temperatures returning Friday with a warming trend into next week. So these are current conditions out there now. You can see that we've got a decent amount of cloud cover up over the northern portions of Georgia, and that's going to really remain in place here over the next couple of days with this next weather system coming to us. We do have some light reflectivities that we can see on the radar on that image on the bottom left. So not amounting to much in the way of accumulations, but we do have some light rain in the area as of this morning. As we move into the forecast period, this is the forecast map for today. Our main concern is going to be kind of this relationship of these two low pressure systems. We've got one up over the Great Lakes with a frontal boundary extending down into the Tennessee Valley, and a second one that we're going to be watching as we go into the next 48 hours. It's currently deepening over the Four Corners region in the southwest U.S., and that's really going to be creating kind of this environment for that severe potential as we get into the next 2 days. So if we step forward into tomorrow, you can see that low pressure system has really traversed the southern high plains. We've got a trailing cold front that's going to be moving through the deep south, and that's really what we're beginning to watch as it interacts with the remaining boundary that's already positioned over the state. And then as we get into Friday, we do see that frontal boundary exit, some cooler air that begins to infiltrate into the area and bring us those cooler temperatures and make way for a very nice weekend. So as far as our chances of rain go, so this is for today and tonight, you can see that they're really isolated up over North Georgia, and most areas south of I-20 shouldn't even see anything today. We do have higher chances as we get into the overnight period and again into early tomorrow. And so you can see that now. Here's Thursday on the left, Thursday night, and then Friday on the far right. So as that line of storms begins to move into our area and we get an increase of radar coverage just in those storms as it moves through into Thursday night and Friday as it exits, you can see the evolution of that in these three graphics. Now we are concerned about some severe potential with this, however isolated it may be at times. Luckily for us, because of the timing of this, we do lose our daytime heating and the sort of boost of convective ingredients that comes with that. And so right now our main concerns are going to be in far northwest Georgia. There is a slight risk of severe weather in that area. And then for other portions of western Georgia, that green area you see labeled with a level 1, that's a marginal risk for severe weather. Now, as far as the timing of storms go, the northwest corner of the state could really start to see some storms move into the area 7 to 11 p.m. And again, this is going to be the timing of maybe the more robust storms coming through. The metro Atlanta area upwards into northeast Georgia could see these storms maybe 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then areas Columbus, Macon, Augusta, South, all those areas would be maybe 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Friday. Now, if we were to break this out further, you can see the image here on the far left is our wind probability. So we actually have the highest chances of wind-related hazards with these storms. So it's a 15% chance in that yellow highlighted area there, and then a 5% chance for the brown shaded counties. Now, we're not really concerned with severe hail. You can see it's very limited, just basically up over Dade County in northwest Georgia, but there is a possibility of a tornado. We can't rule it out. Again, the best ingredients are going to be well west of the state, and as this moves through after the sun sets, we're going to lose some of those important ingredients that could provide us a higher chance of seeing something. However, because we can't rule it out, you can see that northwest Georgia does have a 2% tornado chance as these storms do come through. Now, this is one possible solution for how these storms could evolve. The loop here begins about 11 a.m. on Thursday through 7 a.m. on Friday. So right now this is Friday morning, and here we're resetting again. So this is Thursday afternoon as we get into kind of the rush hour period, late evening, and so on and so forth. So we're really not beginning to see these storms move into the area until, after 6 p.m., closer to 8 p.m. into the far northwest Georgia area. And so that's something that we're continuing to watch for possible adjustments with timing. And again, this is just one model solution, but you can see that it should be more of an overnight event for much of the state. Now, just as a additional look here, as these storms do continue to push south and east as we get into Friday, we're just looking at a general risk of thunder for Friday. So the severe potential is significantly limited as this moisture and any of the instability moves out with it. Just as a reminder, we should be seeing the probability of rain really taper off very quickly from northwest to southeast, but this is the current look for the chance of rain for Friday during the day, and again, mostly isolated to the southeast portions of the state. Now, as far as the rainfall amounts go, these are the rainfall amounts for today through tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You can see that the majority of those are confined to the furthest two rows of counties there in far north Georgia. So maybe half an inch to an inch at best. Most of the area will see under a quarter of an inch. As we get into tomorrow, you can see that as that line of storms begins to move through, we should see more potential of a half inch to up to an inch of rain in some of those areas in North Georgia. And then as we get into Friday, again, these rainfall amounts will be light, occurring mostly in the beginning portion of the day, and under a quarter of an inch, maybe a tenth of an inch at best. Now, if you were to look at the 3-day total for this, accumulated amounts are a little bit higher, so 1.5 inches to maybe 2 inches in those higher elevations up in North Georgia. On the whole, we should be able to handle this okay. And right now, our excessive rainfall outlook at this time is pretty limited. During the day on Thursday and into Thursday evening, we do have a marginal risk for excessive rainfall there over in North Georgia, and just a tiny sliver of a slight risk there in the northwest portions. As far as our river conditions are concerned, you can kind of get a brief snapshot here as far as what we're looking at. We do have some locations on the Oconee and on the Altamaha rivers as they do drain south and east that could continue to remain in flood based on these rainfall amounts, but on the whole, our rivers are in pretty good shape as we head into this event. Now, as far as our temperatures are concerned, we've been above normal for today and tomorrow. Even yesterday, we were above normal for a lot of the sites in our area. You can see that Friday with the exiting system that we do begin to see a temperature change. So we've got Gainesville here on the graph at the top and Atlanta on the bottom. And then by Saturday, we're seeing some of the coldest temperatures that we've seen this week. Most of the lows will be in the upper 20s to low 30s, with highs only topping out in the 50s. However, as we have sunshine return to the area under high pressure through the weekend into early next week, we do see a warming trend. So more of those spring-like temperatures are coming. And this is Macon and Columbus here up on this graph here. So more of the same, lows in the 30s Saturday into Sunday with that warming trend into next week. Some of these areas could be approaching 80 degrees by next Tuesday. As far as our 6 to 10 day outlook, we are still calling for above normal precipitation and above normal temperatures. This is from the Climate Prediction Center for the February 20th through 24th timeframe. So in summary, as far as what we are expecting, strong to isolated severe storms are possible tomorrow into Friday morning. Again, that primary concern is damaging winds over the western portions of the state, and we can't rule out a brief tornado over far northwest Georgia. Please keep in mind that if you are on our email list, that we would continue to update you ahead of this system to provide any additional updates that may be important for how you're preparing in your area. Also, we've got dry conditions that are expected through the holiday weekend, a welcome change to this rainy end to the week. And we do have cool temperatures returning Friday, but spring-like temperatures are ahead by early next week. If you need to reach out to us or contact us in any way, you can find us by these methods. Otherwise, we would be happy to take a phone call from you with any questions. We will see you next week.